Hey guys, so this is the third recording I've done today, and it's covering LGO 206B A.I.M Racing. It's an interesting game. My first impressions were it's kind of like the Star Wars pod race, and it kind of got me pumped a little bit. It's like to see what the actual game was. Now, the only catch with that is you're never really as excited about this game as you are when you load up the intro and you start seeing the intro video, and you're seeing, both the intro and the CGI intro, or CG intro, and also the intro at the main menu. That's probably the best part of this game. It's unfortunate to say that because there's some cool ideas for futuristic games, but unfortunately the rest of the game just doesn't hold up. The sounds are okay. They're really basic game sounds. Nothing to blow you away. It's not like F-Zero where the music kicks in and it's like and you're excited. No, it's not like that at all. It's like, I think the camera, if I remember right, pans around behind your racer. That's it. Go. The other guy's gone. which is really hilarious. It's hilarious to think of now after having played this game, but there's a few things that really bother me about this game, and it's kind of like I just did the video for 8-Bit Commando, and if you haven't watched that one, I'll just quickly say the game is a facsimile of Contra, but the game crashes on you. It crashed on me twice in succession. Now this game, however, it's different. It's a gameplay rather than the software letting me down. So I'm not going to recover what I covered in the 8-bit game. I'm going to just say about this game. And with this game, there's a number of quirks that make it awkward. One, you can use your Xbox 360 controller, fine. I could not find a button to make you jump. However, you don't have any reason to jump in this game, from what I can see. I don't know. Again, that leads to the next issue. You have to, from what I can tell, is finish the first stage, which is called Canyon, which is really basic and, a little bit boring to just call a game Canyon, so you have to finish that stage, and presumably there's another 4 or so stages, because there's only space for another 4 or 5, which is kind of limiting. It's even for an indie game, it's not a lot of stages. I was really hoping for something epic like Star Wars pod racing, and that was the first impression I had, and wow, did I get let down, even though some would argue that movie was a letdown overall in general, zing. But the thing is, there's 3 different racers. So the one I chose is sort of like a cool sort of B-wing, I don't know how else to describe it. It's sort of like a B-wing design where you see the engines out the back. The second one, I don't remember the design, but it's pretty. Oh, the other one looks a little bit like a Lambda shuttle, if I remember right, maybe, from Star Wars. And I like the first ship, and then the last one looks like a cruiser, sort of like what a space shuttle front with like bulked up. So imagine a space shuttle with like a freighter, like an airplane freighter on the sides, and that's the tank of the game. They're pretty standards. One has better maneuverability, one has more strength and takes more hits, and then I don't remember the third one, but it doesn't really matter anyways, unfortunately, for the purposes of this evaluation. So these ships, it's kind of crazy. So like going back to the race, you start the race and it's like, okay, that's okay. You accelerate by pushing up. I don't think that's a good idea from a design perspective. I didn't like that. It's different, but that different is not always better. Progressiveness is not always better. And I think that's a really poor design, because you don't really want to push up constantly for 30 minutes or 5 hours, whatever. So I didn't like that. There should have been a way to remap it. I think there is on the keyboard. But on the controller, I don't think there was a way. I could be wrong, but pushing up is a very poor design choice. Another poor design choice is most racing games you're racing against a ton of people, right? You know, maybe 6 other racers, maybe 2 other racers, but this racing game it's a novelty that you're racing against one other character, which is great, but I think if you're more into like a competitive, you know, gaming or competitive racing or whatever, but it sucks because from what I can tell from my gaming session is you have to finish that level, beat that one racer, the one racer, to progress, to continue. So I thought, okay, maybe I'm wrong. So I go into the multiplayer or the non-championship, so the non-one-player mode. No, you still have the canyon. That's all that you have. So that kind of sucks because it doesn't encourage you to keep playing the game. Instead, you're like, that sucks. Like I just said, that would be your reaction. So that's a bummer. The other bummer is you start the race and then the guy or girl, just the vehicle, is like long gone. Like long gone. From what I can tell, I could be wrong, and I know Wipeout started all this, and that was fortunately the game I grew up on. Weapons are important, and with Wipeout, you know, you have to be very careful when to use them. There's a huge part of the strategy of Wipeout is when to choose to use your weapon. Here it's like, okay, there's weapons. That guy ahead of me, the one guy that's ahead of me is long gone. There's no way I'm gonna hit that other vehicle and actually put these weapons to good use. Now the controls, they're pretty good. They're not horrible, they're not great, they're a little bit floaty. Turns, I didn't find a way to turn properly. And you know, you could almost call this game, holy crap, I just hit a boulder and it just blew up. Because that's what happens in this game. Most collisions in the game, you hit the wall, you suffer damage, or they just sort of forget about it. This game, you hit a boulder in the middle of the first stage and it blows up and I'm like, whoa, which is cool, but at the same time, like, it slows you down big time. And that's, I think, the biggest thing. You never really accelerate enough to really feel like you're in this racing game to win it. You're not in it to win it. And I think any game, especially a racing game, you gotta feel that acceleration. You gotta feel like I'm moving along and, you know, I have a chance to win this thing. And I think there's a basic problem with this game because the other person, you can see them way off in the distance. There's a marker for your opponent, but it's way off in the distance and it's kind of deflating. I don't think that's the word I really wanted, but it's close enough. It's very crappy. I can't find the right word, but those will do. To then be like, okay, I'm never going to catch up. It's kind of like an extreme version of Mario Kart. You know, I'm never going to catch up with that other guy because there's only one other racer, and I'm never going to unlock the rest of the stages in this game. And I don't know what the solution is, but no one's going to play a game that, you know, you can't really complete. You know, you can't progress, you know, and I got this game in a bundle and, you know, I was willing to give it a chance. I thought, you know what, I didn't see any reviews. Unfortunately, today's been a day without Wi-Fi, so I have no idea what the prices of these games are, unfortunately, at the time of this recording. But I can guarantee this game is worth the $1 or whatever I paid for, because or nothing. You know, if it's given to you for free, you know, maybe you'll play it for 2 minutes. If you're really, really bored, or you're stuck with your parents, you know, out somewhere in Gatineau or Vanier, and you're really bored and you have nothing else to play, you know, try this game. You know, you might like it for like the one lap that you can, you know, sort of suffer. I was thinking suffer, but that's not what I was looking for. The one lap that you can tolerate, because this game, unfortunately, there's all these design choices. Like, you have weapons, but there's no opponent near you ever, because they're long gone on lap 2 or wherever at the end of lap 1, and you're never gonna hit them. Like, there's no point in having weapons in a vehicle or a racing game if there's no way of you winning. Like, you have no chance of winning in this game because design choices. You know, you don't accelerate enough. Like there's a little gauge in the bottom right corner. But you don't accelerate enough to actually feel like you're ever going to catch up, you're ever going to unlock any of the, I assume, 4 other stages. It's really a bummer, because, you know, this game could be cool. This game, you know, with a bit of work, you know, making the vehicles a bit faster, rebalancing stuff, which probably is more work than it's really worth at this point. But, you know, it's a shame, because I like the ship designs, and I thought, you know, the videos at the main menu and the video at the full motion video, I mean, show promise. And I don't like to slag games, but this game, I can see why it's in a bundle, and I see why. I think it was like pay $1.39 to get 3 games, and this was like the 3rd game, if I remember right. It was probably like months ago. But yeah, it's just, it's not a substitute for F-Zero. It's not gonna, you're not gonna play it, I think, unfortunately. It's just, the design choices killed this game. And it's really unfortunate, because the ships are cool, you know, it's got some potential, and just because pushing up and not being able to boost, and you can't jump, that's the other thing I want to say with the controls. You can't jump with the controller, from what I could tell. You have to hit the space bar, so you need to use the keyboard. Now you're kind of stuck between a conflict, you know, a battle between those two, because you need the space to jump for something, I presume. I couldn't tell on the first stage, because, you know, I couldn't beat it. Couldn't get anywhere near the opponent. Once they left pretty much the racing line, I was like, see ya, bye-bye. And you know, I'm never going to see him, and he's never going to see me, if that's a he. So it's just a shame that, you know, this game has some potential to be, you know, an okay racer. Like, it's not going to replace Ridge Racer, it's not going to replace anything, it's not going to replace Smash Brothers. You're not going to be playing it like all day. But you know what, if you just feel like a racing game where you race against your brothers and sisters, you know, it's okay. It's not, but it's not exciting. I think that's the thing. You're not accelerating fast enough. You know, you can't beat the opponent to unlock more stages, so then you're like, it's just a constant, like, this sucks, so this sucks too, and this sucks as well. Oh, and yeah, and this sucks. So like, there's a whole bundle of suck here, and I don't know why, you know, it's designed this way, because for all the effort that made into making this game, you think it would, and people don't try and make a sucky game, but, you know, these choices have all made sucky results. And you know, it looked okay, and I guess the whoever made it, I assume, didn't realize at the time, like, this is a bad idea, or maybe they don't play a lot of games, I don't know. But I'm not trying to be mean, it's just, there's a lot of suckage. Anyways, I think that's how to leave this game. I wouldn't recommend it unless you get it for 50 cents to $1. Anything higher, I have no idea what it is. It's just not fun. You can't progress and all that other jazz that I talked about. So anyways, it makes me feel disappointed just talking about it, and I think I've over-talked this game for what it's worth. $1 or less. So anyways, keep on gaming, guys. I'll see you soon. I got 2 more. Bye.